we're here at Entusi Resort for another interview with another friend that we've met. This is Sharon, and I'll let Sharon introduce herself. You can tell us your name and maybe your background, where you're from, which part of Uganda.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharon Niwenshuti. I'm the receptionist at Entusi Resort and Retreat Center in Kabale at Lake Bunyoni in Uganda. And I work as a receptionist, and then I also work as the leader of the Entusi Women's Association in Kabale, Lake Bunyoni. And I have worked here for 8 years now, and I feel I enjoy working with my fellow staff, and then the best part of it is working with the women at the lake, because I've worked with 30 women for all the 8 years, and they're really interesting to work with. So part of the things I do at Lake Bunyoni with the women is making crafts, and we have a craft shop that is free for them, so they can make crafts and then put on display, and then we sell for them and then give the money directly to them so they can buy maybe something for their families and help them survive. We also help them those women in teaching them about agriculture, so they can learn how to grow different kinds of vegetables, different fruits, and yeah, it helps also in improving their livelihoods at home. Yeah.
So how did you come to work for Entusi? How did you end up in this job?
In coming to Entusi, I first started. I went to school, and then I got a certificate in tourism and hotel management. And from then, I had to work in Kabale town. But then the place I worked in wasn't like very favorable, because it was like someone's hotel, and then they would not pay us very well. So within that process, I didn't like that job. So I had to get the chance of meeting Jamie Van Leeuwen, our founder, and then he told us about Entusi. So I had to apply to work at Entusi, and then I was lucky that I was one of the best people. So I was employed at Entusi, and I got the chance to become the receptionist and then the lead of the women.
Excellent, thank you. And you enjoy working here?
I do enjoy working here. It's the best place you can work in, with the best people, and our staff are the best. I can prove that.
Excellent, thank you. So you mentioned that you lead the women's group. Did you help form the women's group? And you said there are about 30 women. What else do they do other than crafts as part of the group?
The other things we do is, well, apart from the crafts, we also deal in the girl child. So we usually move around teaching girls in schools, mostly about sanitation, and then about the menstrual hygiene. And then sometimes when we get partners, they usually help in giving out pads to girls in school. So we move around giving out pads to girls in school.
And is that something that a lot of girls might not have access to otherwise?
Yeah, actually, this side in Uganda, girls have challenges with menstruation, because most of them live in their families. Their parents can't afford buying the sanitary pads. So, like, some of them use cloth, but then with the cloth, most of them don't know how to clean them, so they get some infections. So, like, when we are moving in schools and talking to those girls, we try to teach them about the hygiene, so they know how to deal with their menstrual cycles.
Yeah. Excellent, thank you. And if I recall correctly, the women's group has a savings organization as well. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so in the things we do with the women, so we try to teach them how to save, because like in Uganda, like all I can say is in Lake Bunyoni, most of the families around survive on, like, the women are the ones who try to help ends meet. So they have to go to the gardens and dig, they have to give birth to the children and know how the children will grow or go to school. So we tried so that they can also have the knowledge of finance, how to control their finances. So Entusi has a model farm where the women go to and learn how to dig, they learn how to grow crops. So we also said in between we need to create a savings scheme. So among the 30 women, they try to save every time they meet at the model farm, and then their savings they keep them, and then at the end of the year they have to share among themselves on the profit. So they keep borrowing and then returning with some little profit, and at the end of the year then they share among themselves, and it helps a lot. So sometimes some people say maybe I need a blanket, or I need towel, or I need plates, or I need spoons. So they have to decide on what to buy, and then they share. Yeah.
Yeah, would it otherwise be difficult for them to get like a bank account or some other access to borrow money?
The women are the ones we just said choose what would be preferable for you. So they decided they have a small box where each time they save, then they have to keep in the box, and then at the end of the year they open up that box, and then what they find there they distribute among themselves. Yeah, so they have a committee of the cashier and the rest, the chairperson, everyone. So they had to make their own committee, and they're the ones to decide on what to use their money for. Yeah.
Is it difficult for people in the Lake Bunyoni region to get like a current account or a savings account at a regular bank?
Now at Lake Bunyoni, the banks we have in Kabale town, and then it needs transport. It's like it's some distance away from the lake, so the women said they thought it would be very far for them to like save from the lake and then go to the banks to save their money. So they decided to do it in their own community. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's a clever solution to a problem that a lot of people in the United States might not even realize exists because it's so easy for us to get a bank account, but that's not the case here.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about something else you mentioned. You said that the women come to the model farm to learn farming techniques and ways that they can make their land more productive. Why is it the women that come to the farm? I think a lot of Americans would expect the men to be primarily responsible for the household income and raising food, producing the food for the family. Is that not the case here?
No, in this side it's not the case. Um, I think it's in most of the families around, the men don't take that much responsibility on the children, especially like the children. Most of them, like when you move around in the community and go to the different bars that are around, you'll find the most number of people in the bars are men. So, and the women are in the gardens. They are in the fields digging. Some are in the markets trying to trade and look for some little money. So, this side there are very few men that, well, there are those that are responsible, but then there are the most percentage of them. The women are the ones who try to raise their children. They try to look for school fees and do other basic needs. So the men are always like hanging out, and unless you're very, very stuck and say, I need something. Yeah. So, yeah, basically we say let the women learn. So, because most of the children learn from their mothers. Yeah, so when you teach the woman, then you also have taught the children. Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thank you. What do you enjoy doing when you have free time, just for Sharon, when you're not working and helping other people, which it sounds like you do a lot of helping other people? What do you enjoy doing just for Sharon?
Well, like I am a mother, so I'm a mother to two boys. I have Aaron and Ian. So most of the times when I'm free and maybe I'm not at work, I usually have time with my family. Yeah, I have time with those children and my husband. But then when we are free, when we don't have guests and I'm at Entusi, then at times I call the women so we can sit and then share. Or sometimes we have a woman-to-woman talk at Entusi. So sometimes we get those little meetings and then we learn from each other. Well, yeah, that's basically that. And then some other times I invite them over so we can try to learn some little crafts, because some of them are skilled in weaving, some know how to make the cloth work. So we learn from each other. So most times when I'm free and I'm at Entusi, I try to engage with the women. Sometimes I visit them in their homes. And then when I'm at home, then I have time with my family. Yeah.
Cool, very cool, thank you. So I have one more question for you, and if you need a minute to think about it, that's fine. We can edit the video.
Yeah, it's okay.
But if you're willing to, would you tell a story? And it can be a story about something that you've seen or the impact that you've seen through Entusi on the people in the villages around here, or it could be like a cultural myth, or it could be a story about your family, just any story.
Maybe I'll talk about the Punishment Island.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
So,
Yep, go ahead.
so yeah, at Lake Bunyoni, one of the interesting things we have, it's like a story, but then it's something that happened long time ago when we were not yet born or our grandmothers were not yet born. It's something that happened long time ago. We have an island called the Punishment Island. It's on Lake Bunyoni in Kabale, and it has a story. Like a long time ago, before we were born, when a girl would get pregnant, and like let's say they've impregnated you and you're not yet married, so your brothers would come and take you to that island. It's a very small island with one tree, and it usually has so many birds on that tree. So your brothers, when you would get pregnant and they ask you if the who impregnated you, so and you don't talk, because they usually say you should get pregnant when you're only married. If you're not yet married, then you shouldn't get pregnant. So when you would get pregnant and you're still very young, you're not yet married officially, so your older brothers would carry you, put you in the boat, and then take you to that Punishment Island. And then they would leave you there, so you could die from there, or because of hunger, or because of coldness. So yeah, that's what would happen. And then that would teach the other young girls not to get pregnant before the right age, before the right time comes. So that would teach everyone, like all the girls would grow up until they're adult enough to get married. Yeah, so that's one of the interesting parts about Lake Bunyoni. In case you get the chance to come around, you're going to visit that island. It's very, very cool. Yeah, but then with time, things changed, because people would take their sisters to that island, and then the other men, like some people would come and feel pity for them, and then they would come and take them away and marry them as their wives. So when it kept happening like that, and people would pick them up, and then some other, like when your brothers are taking you to that island, someone would, like some of the girls, as they are putting them off the canoes, they would pull the brothers, so they would all collapse in the lake. So yeah, that thing started changing, and then people started realizing that it's bad, and then it stopped. So right now the island is just there for touring, but that activity doesn't happen anymore.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Sharon, for your time. This has been very interesting, and hopefully the people who watch our channel have learned a little bit more about how hard you guys are working to try and improve your corner of Uganda and make lives a little bit better for other people.
Okay, thank you so much for talking to me, and I hope the people that are watching this video can come to Uganda, come to Lake Bunyoni, come to Entusi, and see the beauty of the lake. Thank you so much.
Thank you.